yeah, it was very traumatic. You know, I'd never been in something like that. I'd never seen something like that. I'd never, yeah, I mean, I had to close my eyes like this every time there was blood on a movie. Like, I wasn't raised allowed to look at violence, you know? So it's just like, I was in shock for a while. And, I'm sure baby daddy didn't even know what was going on. He was how much drunk, and then he was put to sleep, and then like I didn't get to talk to him actually until probably about a year ago, and this was in 2019. And I can only imagine that he probably, I don't know what he thought. And anyway, so I go every night, and I stay in the hospital with him, with a boyfriend. He finally gets out, and and he wants to go to Vegas. And I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, why do you want to go to Vegas? You just got out of the hospital. Don't you think you should take it easy? But I mean, I'm here. I'll support you in whatever you want to do. If that's what you want to do. But I don't suggest that's what we do. But he wanted to go. So I said, okay. I get my dad to watch my daughter, who's 2 years old. And we go for 4 days. And it was New Year's. I remember it was New Year's 2020. It was the 31st. And some I just got this feeling. Something in my mind told me something was going on with my daughter. And so as I usually did, I called all the time, and this time it was different. He was acting weird, and my dad's a wordsmith. He always has been. If you don't use the exact word, and if you give him any escape out of it, he will take it, and he won't tell you. He won't give you no clue about that. You know, you got to use everything properly so that he will answer the question. And so I call him. I'm like, let me talk to Scarlett. And he goes, can't right now. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, just can't talk to her right now. I was like, is she sleeping? No. I was like, is she? Well, let me see her. Let's show me on the video camera, you know. And she's not here. And I was like, what do you mean she's not there? And he goes, she left. And I was like, where is she? Well, CPS came. And I was like, what was CPS at the door for? Oh, someone called him. And I was like, oh, okay. Who called them? And he goes, oh, well, I did. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you call me? Why wouldn't you? My brother's right down the street. Why wouldn't you call him? Like, why would you just, what's going on? And he goes, well, I couldn't do it anymore. And I'm like, what? So weird. It's so weird. Like, what are you doing? And so by the time we get back, which was like the following day, but at nighttime, or I can't remember the timeline perfectly. I just know by the time I got back, the day before was Monday. I got back I think on a Tuesday night, and by that time she was a ward of the state. I didn't get no call from CPS. I didn't get no text. I didn't get a letter in the mail. I didn't get an email. I didn't get nothing, no notification whatsoever for them to tell me that she was in their custody, and now she's a ward of the state. So then they got me going through this program, right? And it's a cookie cutter program. They give the same outline, no matter what the issue was. And so they got me in these classes, and I'm like, and it's COVID time, right? So we're doing them over Zoom, and so then at this time, I'm also the DA was wanting me to do a statement. Because my boyfriend had said she'll give you the first statement, you drop those charges, because he had my back. He knew I wasn't trying to obstruct evidence. And so they said, yes, okay, charges are dropped. So I'll give you the first statement. Now, I was scheduled to go in because of COVID and the quarantine. The DA guy called me and he says, I'll call you later to reschedule, but don't come in today, because it was that day. The day of, he called me. I said, okay. He never called me back. He never called me back. Now, so the stabbings is the first traumatic incident of the next 5 years. Okay, so there's that one. There's the baby. That's two traumatic things right there, and it's going to be back, one after another after this. Okay, so I'm jumping through their hoops. The cookie cutter program. The instructor, she gets to me because we go around in a circle and we say how something feels and how does this affect you or whatever, and it's all about drugs. And I'm like, I don't do drugs, so I don't relate to any of this. And I made a suggestion. I was like, maybe I could replace it was something that maybe I should work on, like maybe codependency. And so she said, yeah. So, when it was my turn, I didn't have nothing to say. I was just like, actually, I was trying to participate. You know what I mean? And make the best of it. And it was a really hard time because I didn't have anybody. I obviously wasn't going to talk to my dad because what the hell are you thinking? Just calling, like, what are you doing? It didn't make sense to me at the time. Now I've put pieces together and it does. And I'm only telling you guys this because hopefully it can prevent this happening to somebody else, because they are very corrupt, and I didn't know that. I thought they were, upstanding company or whatever. I don't even know if they're government. I don't think they are government. I think they're like third party or whatever. Anyways, that's irrelevant. So, jumping through their hoops. I'm doing self-care, and because I always like paid attention to my boyfriends, and I would write them little notes and be like, hey, good morning, all this good stuff. I put all this attention into them. I never would do that for myself, and nobody ever did that for me either. And so during this time when I had nobody else, and I was like, let me focus, let me do for me what I would do for someone else. And I would write a little note, put it on the mirror, so when I woke up in the morning brushing my teeth, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm so cool, yay, thank you for appreciating me. And I would go on walks, 3-hour walks, where I would have my headphones on, and I'm like typically like kind of shy, and if I was like, you know what, Ashley, who cares who's out there watching? Carl's gonna drive by me. I'm gonna dance if I feel like dance walking, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna sing it out loud, whatever. I don't care at this point. Just do you, and forget about what everybody else is always thinking. And I did. I was doing that, and I was taking myself on picnics and such. And it was hard, like, it was hard. It still is. It still is hard. It's hard for me to think or talk about. And so one day I'm sleeping, and it's like 4:30 in the morning. I get a call. Someone, one of my friends, and they're like, hey, I'm at the casino right now. They just opened it up. Like, you should come over. And I was like, huh. Well, I've never really been. I mean, I've been once or twice, but shit, I got nothing else I'm doing. It'd be fun, because I thought at that time that the casino was a fun, classy place that you get dressed up, and I have all these nice clothes that I never got to wear anywhere because no one takes me on dates, So I was like, oh, it'll be a chance for me to dress up, do more self-care kind of thing like that, and wear my dresses I never got to wear. Boy, was I fucking wrong. The casino is the last place you want to dress up. You do not want to cause any attention to yourself whatsoever, because there are so many predators, and I did not know this. I don't know how I can stress that enough to anybody out there, that if you've not been to a casino, do not draw attention to yourself. It is not the right, it's not. They are really bad, very evil people. That, not all of them, but a lot of them have some intentions that aren't pure whatsoever, and I'll get into that next. They're on the way. So I'm dressing up nice, and then, I put my ear things on, because I don't want to talk to people. I just was doing it for myself, so I'd have my ear things on, people try to talk to me, I'm just like, I can't hear you. And, well, I was one night trying the 21. I was trying to play blackjack. And this guy came up, and he's got his bandana so tight, his eyes are popping out, and he's sweating. And, he's just like, and he gives me his number if I want coffee or something, and I was just like, oh, I was polite, so I just took it. And I then move on to, I wasn't good at blackjack, whatever. And so I go to the slot machine, and I see him out of the corner of my eye. He's doing he's sharking me, he's like keeping an eye on me, and I thought that was strange. And so I put my money I just put 100 in, and it didn't register. So I go and I push the button, and I'm looking around, and he immediately is right there, and he's like, I'll get you somebody. And he goes and he does, and he gets me somebody, and I was like, well, that was okay, that was kind of decent, So I ended up texting him, and he moved himself into my apartment on October 9th, 2020. And within a month and a half, he had demolished my life, for what was left of it anyway. And I had let him move himself in. I saw him doing that, and I was so lonely that I was just like, whatever, And at this time, my caseworker said if anybody's around my daughter that they need to have a background check. And I was like, okay,